power up. We're having an issue on phase 2 ped crossing. I don't know if there's a shorted wire or something like that. Both of the buttons aren't getting any feedback, and it's just constantly calling the walk sign. I've since updated the advanced timing program to accommodate the detection, and it's running on ring 4, phase 14. So you can see walk is stuck at 7, but it's just because ped recycle's on, and it's just getting a constant ped call. So I have the amount of seconds that it's going to take. Basically, phase 14 is your timing, and that's the amount of time it will take when the overlaps are flashing red. So right now there's no call on phase 4. Actually, while we're waiting for a call on phase 4, I'll show you how to do this. I actually wanted to up that timing anyway. So 2 and 6 have a 15-second min. Basically, just because this is an 80 zone, it's a highway essentially. We have a 45-second max, 2 and 6, 15 seconds, phase 1 left turn, the 25-second dynamic max, and a phase 4, 25 seconds, and 35-second dynamic max, just to accommodate heavy traffic volumes. Yellows are set up accordingly. And then if you go over to phase 14, it's basically just the vehicle extension. So actually I wanted to set that to 10.9. Then set a 12-second max. 12-second mid-green. So it has to be operational for at least 12 seconds. And then you have your 7-second LPI for phase 4, because there's no slip lanes here, and not that many people are crossing, but it is a pretty dangerous crossing. So now we have a call. So you can see the walk is counting down. So now we have our head clearance. Once the next time gets to 0, you'll see these overlaps 13 and 14 basically drive the signboard. And then it starts counting down. And then basically when it starts counting down, 14 stops getting a call, and as soon as phase 4, and it basically just holds a call on phase 4 even if a car's left the detection zone, because it basically just fully commits. And then as soon as 14 is red, it starts calling it again, and it will always rest in 14, but you don't see it in the field. So you can see one of them is on, because the flashing left turn arrow is on. So that's going to terminate. Then back to green, but you don't see those greens or yellows in the field. So now we have a call on phase 4 again. So there's a lot of people that like to turn right. Eventually it would have been nice to actually get a right turn overlap arrow here, since most of the traffic is turning right, but that'll be maybe my next project. See all of the logic statements that are active, logic program flags. So I'll show you what happens here. And all the extensions are done with the detectors themselves. So we have point 1, green transfer. So now those are flashing. People see the signs flashing from a distance. See the extension counting down, yellow, so now everything's yellow. And unlocks the calls for 2 and 6. You can see the constant ped call, otherwise it would just be an L for lock. face left with the flashing left turn arrow. So there's a signboard for each direction because of the arrow. Typically, if you have phase 2 and 6, you want to have separate signboards for each direction. So I set up 6 as the actual flashing logic. Other systems that we have in the field in other places actually have like an advanced signboard. Like basically it's like a back panel kind of like this, but it has 2 other load switches in it, and the only difference is that these red outputs wouldn't flash, they would just be solid. And then those solid reds would drive the power to the flashers for the signboards. This cabinet was put in a bit of a hurry because the old one blew up from Hurricane Fiona. But the thing is you can drive the logic right from overlap 13, well I guess load switch 13, 14 overlaps, actually 2 in 1, the way I have it set up. 2 is with vehicle phase 2 and 1 is with vehicle phase 6. And the good thing is if this goes into hard flash, those outputs on the red will also flash the signboard still, because it's just a hard flash. The only thing I couldn't get out of it, the way it was set up before, is the signboards themselves actually had a flasher built into it. So it was one wire going to it like a solid output, and then it would flash the sign. It would flash the sign at the sign itself, so that you get your wig-wag. But this one's just both of them are on, off, on, off. Otherwise, we'd have to pull a second wire all the way to the board, which we're probably not going to do. Another option would, I guess, just be to have that come on solid and then drive it. But then if this goes into hard flash, you'd have to have the output solid, which is just a whole other thing. So we're just going to leave it like this. And the MMU's set up to see it as well. Basically nothing on 13 and 14, but all the phases are compatible with it. Some of our TS1 cabinets actually have like little relay clocks that will set stop time in the controller when the extension's counting down. That's not too bad, especially when you don't have enough outputs. Like one in Halifax, for example, has the timers, but if you wanted to output them from PED yellow, you'd have to rewire the cabinet so you can have hard flash on PED yellow, which you wouldn't see in the field, but you'd see it on the signs. So I think we're just going to leave it for now. And then the next one up from here is a pretty old cabinet. And that one, I have it set up for PED yellow when the advanced signboard dies. But I'll probably just get our contractor to do a hard wire to feed the PED yellow. But the next cabinet up needs to be replaced, so it'll be kind of a temporary measure. But I set up the same logic. If you go to LP, so all of these are all the statements that are enabled. I won't bother going through all of them, but kind of get the idea. There's a bunch of stuff in there. I could talk about it for hours. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Got my internet modem. It's a little messy, but it looks fine for my house. So that's counting down now. So green, no one's going left. There you go.